Hello and welcome back to the second part of our lesson. So we are discussing this transaction here on 2nd of August 2019. Bought stock for 10,000 in cash. We want to see, we have said, an increase in asset debited while a decrease is going to be credited. So stock has increased because we have bought. And we bought using what? Cash. So cash, which is also an asset, has decreased. Cash has decreased because we have used it to pay for stock. So how do we record this? Now we'll expound more when we look at recording of every of these. But this is just a brief introduction so that you have an idea what to do. But most of the examples will have when we'll be looking at recording of stock, cash, and so forth. That. So we are going to have two ledger accounts. We are going to have two ledger accounts as follows. The first one is stock. And stock has two components. We have what we call purchases and sales. When you buy stock, that is called what? Purchases. But when you sell, it's called sales. So here we shall have what? Purchases, because we bought. So we have purchases account. Here we have the debit side. The debt is, so we have debt here. We have debt. We have particulars. We have folio. And we have what? The amount in shillings. We have debt. We have particulars. We have folio. And we have amount. Here is the credit side. Then in the next one we say we have what? Cash, account, debit, credit. Alright. Then here we have debt. We have particulars. We have folio. We have amount. We have debt, particulars or details. We have folio. And we have amount. So here is credit side. So we have said an increase in an asset is recorded on the debit side. Stock has increased, purchases have increased, so we record on the debit side. So we come here and write 9 August 019. In particulars, we write the name of the corresponding account, which is cash. Here is purchases, here is cash. So we write here cash. Then folio, we don't know about the page, just leave it blank. Then amount is 10,000 shillings. That is how we record transaction when there is an increase in an asset. This other account has decreased and it is also an asset. And we said a decrease in an asset is recorded on the credit side. So this one here, I'm going to record it 8019, and the corresponding account is purchases. And the amount is 10,000. As simple as that. Now, for now, I know it is sounding Greek, but as you get along and you do more examples, you will learn that it's very easy to record transactions. So, in the particulars, I'm saying when you have two accounts, one affects the other. So here we have bought stock. We call it purchases. What do we use to pay? Cash. So here, if this is the purchases account, in particular we'll have cash. Then here is cash. The particulars are column we shall have purchases. That is one. Number two, how do we record liability? Now, an increase in a liability is credited while a decrease is debited. So this is the opposite of assets. So for liabilities, when there is an increase, we credit. When there is a decrease, we debit. It's the opposite of assets. Alright, this one I'll not give you. I'll just give you the example as in the question. Then during your free time, you can try and see if you can do that. Liability. So let us have it as example 2. So we are saying on 3rd August 2019, paid creditor. Can even have the name of the creditor. Can say paid, say 5,000 shillings using check or by check. Right? So this is when we pay somebody. This is a creditor. This is someone we owe money to. Alright? So what happens? That creditor reduces. Alright? So shall say we have Hussein. This is a creditor. Decreases by 5,000. This is someone we owed 5,000. Now we don't owe. So it means what? It has reduced. And we have said an increase in a liability is credited, while a decrease is debited. So because this is decrease, we are going to debit. That is one. Then number 2, bank. Remember in our previous lesson we said whenever you see check, either you are paying someone using check or you are receiving a check, that money is reflected in the bank account, not in cash. So bank here, which is an asset, has decreased. We have withdrawn money from our bank. The bank has given out 5,000, so it has decreased by 5,000 shillings. This is an asset. When it decreases, you say you do what? You credit. Try and draw the two ledger like we did in the assets. Number 3, capital. Alright? How do we record capital? An increase in capital is credited, while a decrease is debited. So capital behaves like liability. That's why in the balance sheet, in the bookkeeping equation, they are on the same side. So when capital increases, we record it on the credit side. And when capital reduces, we record it on the debit side. We know how capital can increase, or we know how capital can decrease. From our previous lesson, we talked about final capital or changes in capital. We say borrowings reduce capital, loss reduces capital, additional investment increases capital, profit increases capital. So if there is additional investment into the business, then that means capital increases. How do we record that? We're going to record that on the credit side, right? But if there are borrowings, right? You took property, you took goods, or you took money from the business, it's going to reduce the capital. And therefore you record it on the credit side. Then we have expenses. Expenses are those costs incurred in running the business, such as electricity. You pay for electricity or power. Storage charges. You're going to pay for insurance. You're going to pay salaries and so on, right? An increase in an expense is going to be debited, just like an asset, in the respective expense account, while a decrease is credited. So expenses behave like assets. Finally, revenues. Revenues refer to incomes earned from non-business activity. They may include discounts received, commission received, rent received, etc. So apart from the normal business activity, we may get other sources of income from commission, rent, and so forth. So an increase in revenue is credited in the respective revenue account, while a decrease is debited. Revenue behaves like liability and capital. So note, assets and expenses are recorded the same way, while liabilities, capital, and revenue are recorded the same way. Finally, let's look at a summary of the rules. Number one, an increase in the value of an asset is debited in the respective asset account, whereas a decrease in the value of the asset is credited in the respective asset account. Number two, an increase in the value of a liability is credited in the respective liability account, while a decrease in the value of a liability is debited. Number three, an increase in the value of capital is credited in the capital account, while a decrease in the value of capital is debited in the capital account. Number four, an increase in the value of revenue or income is credited in the respective revenue and income account, whereas a decrease is debited. And for expenses, they behave like assets. And that brings us to the end of our